Okay, can everyone hear me? Is this thing on? Excellent, excellent. So first of all, I would like to thank Professor Kleinrock for not only having me speak this afternoon, but also inventing my career for me. So when he was sending his first messages over the internet to his colleagues in Stanford, I was a year old. I didn't even get anywhere near of getting involved with internet until the Archie and Gopher days, where we were transitioning from Archie and Gopher into Mozilla and Netscape 1.0, and that's really when the business of the internet began. I've been an internet entrepreneur for almost my entire career. I started when I couldn't get a job, so I created my own company in internet media called StockPoint, and I actually had the second internet stock quote server that was up on the web. So I've been involved with the web business at least since the very beginning. So within 10 minutes, I'm going to try to give a quick overview of where I think at least the entertainment content business is currently sitting, and some interesting things that I think are going to happen in the future. So just quickly to look at where we currently stand. There's some tremendous numbers that are out there. Americans spend 30% of their free time online. That's staggering. That includes everything. Playing golf, hanging out with your kids, watching TV. Tremendous amount of time is being spent online. 80% of the folks that are on the web are using broadband connections, which means entertainment content can be delivered quickly and effectively. And 65% of folks that are on the web are willing and able and actually do buy products, goods, and services. And that moves across all demographics. The older folks are just as likely to spend money as the younger folks. Most people don't like ads, but they'll put up with it because they expect free content. So it seems like the stage would be very well set currently to make it easy to make money with entertainment content on the web. And the answer to that is not really. Hollywood is in a funny sort of struggle with Silicon Valley in terms of how it's all going to shake down with who's going to control the content, where it's going to live, who controls the rights to it, and whether content is king or utility is king. And it's interesting because it's coming together a little bit more, but it's been reasonably polarized for the past few years. But how do you make money, right? I mean, I'm oversimplifying this, of course, but there are basically 4 ways that you can make money with your content on the internet, which is to create an enormous user base and sell advertising, have a smaller base of users and sell subscriptions to your content, or do a combination of both, which people are on freemium, give a bit away for free, and then trap people into subscriptions. And then there's commerce, which is selling stuff, transaction, anything that is related. Selling advertising on the internet has been an interesting road. I was one of the early guys in at iFilm, where we were pioneering web video. It was really the sort of precursor to YouTube, and creating business models around putting advertising, pre-roll advertising in front of video. And we've come a long way. I mean, an amazing long way, even in 3 or 4 short years. $22 billion will be spent online in the year 2009. That's 9.9% of total media ad spend. Well, to me, where I say the water seeks its level, if people are spending 30% of their time and the advertising industry is putting 10% of their money against it, it only goes up. There have been some kind of difficult times with internet advertising, but at the end of the day, the money spent will be proportionate to where people are spending their time. So there's a huge amount of opportunity in figuring out ways to monetize content in a reasonable way on the web. The music business, everybody knows and has been hearing that the music business has been struggling big time. And the music business has been struggling big time because the technology, the internet basically created ways for users to bifurcate music so that you can buy the song or two that you like and you don't have to take the other 9 or 10 that you don't like. And that basically took 80% of the profit out of the music business. Again, an oversimplification, but technology really empowered users to take what they want and leave what they didn't want, which leaves all kinds of different opportunities in terms of how you repackage, how can you make money in the entertainment business, how can you make money in the music business? Well, you have to think more than just selling one thing. And in my estimation, it's going to be the confluence of business models running concurrently together are going to make up the difference of what's being left out when users only take what they really want. If CD sales represent 65% of the money that's getting made in the music business currently, it's been going down. Those are last year's numbers. It's been going down in double digits for the past 4 years. Next year, digital downloads are going to overtake CDs, but the revenue that they're deriving is going to be less. So the music industry has a challenge. The good news is that kids and people in general stop stealing. The P2P issue, which was really prevalent a couple years ago, is basically going away. And people, I don't think the kids wanted to steal music. I think that kids just wanted to be able to listen to it for free. And you can listen to it for free if there's ads, if there are ads wrapped in. And there are a bunch of different companies which are trying to figure out how to make a living doing that. And the labels are sort of helping them. The quick conundrum on what's happening with the rest of media, newspapers are basically going down. It's very difficult to have a physical newspaper business where all the users can, hop online, get it for free. So, newspapers are reworking their model. TV is holding reasonably well, but there's so many channels. I mean, I've got DirecTV with 600 channels to choose from. There's fragmentation in that market. I think the film studios probably have fared the best in the whole digital transition. But again, there's so many other options. And with people spending so much of their time online, the entertainment companies need to figure out better ways to get it done. Just quickly, the new media strategy. Companies like YouTube, Napster, Photobucket, MySpace, iFilm, where I worked, Grouper, Pandora, Wolfgang's Vault, these kinds of companies, the initial business model was, okay, let's just go grab content from wherever we can get it. Maybe it belongs to us, maybe we've got some partial rights to it, maybe we're a service, we're aggregating, what have you, we're letting users upload it. So the first sort of foray into the market, and some of these companies have been very, very successful, some not so successful or in the middle, but the bottom line was, let's build it, people will come, and then we'll work out the business of it later. I think we're really moving more into companies really needing to figure out their content rights before they actually create businesses around it. And again, with some of, Apple Computer is a hardware company, but they run the music business, which is interesting, right? I mean, I put Napster on both lists because Napster did it the grab it way, and now they're doing it the legal way. Rever was an interesting company where they were going to pay everybody, but the content wasn't compelling enough, so people didn't come, and they basically went out of business. It was very hard for Cinema Now and MovieLink to make money because people didn't want to wait around to download digital content. So, Spiral Frog went out of business where the labels were trying to, charge too much money to support ad music or ad-supported music. And iMeme is still moving along. And Vivo is the new universal YouTube music video venture, which is rolling out. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens there. I know we're running a little long here, but I'm going to just quickly go through what I think is the pretty interesting Hollywood versus Silicon Valley type of example, where you have, Hollywood has been trading the analog dollars for digital pennies in most of their sectors now for a few years. Hollywood executives are getting very tired of that. Hulu is an interesting first real foray into Fox and ABC. Well, Disney came in later, and NBC trying to say, hey, this is our content. We're going to control it. We're going to make the money from it. $12 million in profits after their first year up. with 20 million unique users and $65 million in revenue is, in my estimation, an excellent result for a company which, when it first came out of the gates, people were calling ClownCo. They were calling it ClownCo because they didn't think media executives could execute an internet play. And guess what? Media executives did execute an internet play, and they did it in a more effective way, I can say, in some ways, than YouTube. You know, Hulu is what I call the short tail. People are watching What Happened Last Night, they're watching Saturday Night Live, they're watching House, all that stuff. I consider YouTube the long tail, which is everybody has their video in the world and you can watch it. So you have a ton of, but it's not monetizable very well. So again, I think that YouTube gives us utility, Hulu gives us excellent content. You know, sooner or later, these two things are going to have to mesh and work as one. Great content, great experience, and utility is going to be the end of the road for what happens with entertainment content. So, so what do you do here? You got to add value, create experience, create an emotional connection, and take that emotional connection and lead it to a transaction, which is, you know, what our company is trying to do is basically create a way to blend the business models. So you can have an advertising supported experience on the front end, you can create an emotional connection with your user base, and then you can make them more likely to transact on the things that they want, whether it's a mug or a t-shirt or digital copy or whatever it is. So, you know, and then there are all kinds of search revenue opportunities that can come out of it. So I think that the answer with entertainment content on the web is the blending of the business models that are out there so that you can have, you know, 3 legs to the stool instead of 1. So that is my quick 10 minutes, which is probably more like 15, but that is how I see the media and internet world evolving. Thank you very much.